What's happening, everybody? Jay Shockblast here, and man, oh man, am I pissed. Here we go. We've got Batgirl, two different versions of Batgirl 1966, and our new 52 era Barbara Gordon Batgirl. And a big controversy all over the internet and with DC Comics over the course of the last week with the announcement of the variant cover of Batgirl number 41, which you can see right up there. That is the variant cover as drawn by Rafael Albuquerque, and it is obviously an homage to the amazing classic story by Alan Moore, The Killing Joke, where Barbara Gordon gets shot, becomes paralyzed, is abducted. Joker absolutely torments Commissioner Gordon, and complete with assault, we'll say, naked photos of Barbara. Just absolutely one of the most critically acclaimed stories in all of Batman history. This is like the signature moment, I feel, in Batgirl's history. So what they're obviously doing with this cover, a variant cover, mind you, not even the main cover, just basically, showing some respect to a very classic storyline. And apparently the wussification of this world continues because we are not allowed to do things like that. I don't understand where people are coming from with this one. I understand that the new Barbara Gordon in the new 52 is, a nicer, more innocent character, but the story isn't being reinvented, even though it should. I would love to see them and, bring that interpretation of the story, into the new 52. But I guess they're not. They're going to keep Barbara Gordon as Batgirl for the time being, and I just feel like she has a better place as Oracle. But that's not the purpose here. The purpose here is because of the controversy, Rafael Albuquerque has decided to ask DC Comics not to publish this cover, and it's really frustrating because I feel like this guy worked really hard on this piece. He's probably really proud of it. He's probably a really big fan of the Alan Moore Killing Joke story, and this was his opportunity to really put together what I feel is one of the better covers I've seen in a long time. You see a terrified Barbara Gordon with Joker, his arms around her, and painting that bloody smile on her face, tears rolling down her eyes. It's everything that we've wanted Joker to be. That gritty, sadistic guy. That's exactly who the Joker is. And that I understand. I understand that people are excited about what's happening with Batgirl. That people are excited that she's very much a role model for younger girls. I understand that, there's a lot of females that don't like to see females being victimized, but this is real. This is what happens in the world, okay? And there are just as many guys getting victimized in these comics too. It is what it is. I mean, we want our comics to be grittier and more realistic. That's one of the big things that everybody likes about the Nolan Batman series. That's very gritty and real, the realism and the truism to like real life, And this just a variant cover, not the cover for everybody. The variation would have been maybe 1 in 10 or maybe even like 1 in 75. It was a collector's edition of the cover. And people are going to flip out and start threatening each other, over Twitter and message boards and stuff like that because they disagree. It's just stupid. It's stupid. And it's unfortunate because, again, the person I feel the worst for is Albuquerque because, I've never really known who this guy is before. I don't know what his work is, but, I can only imagine that this is, a bucket list piece for him, like, it's such a great cover, and now I know his name, I guess there's some benefit to it, but yeah, just so frustrating. I don't follow this book at all. I would have bought this book. Like, seeing that cover, that's awesome. Like, and it's not awesome because a girl is being picked on or anything like that. No, it's awesome because it's such a seminal moment in comic book history. Like, the Killing Joke, I don't want to sit there and say, like, top 10, but it's one of the top storylines of all time. And I feel like it's really shows a time where, I don't know, man. Like, it's just, I really feel like it's unfortunate that this had to happen. I'm going to post an article below from comicbook.com, I believe. I just want to read what Rafael Albuquerque had to say. My Batgirl variant cover artwork was designed to pay homage to a comic that I really admire and I know is a favorite of many readers. The Killing Joke is part of Batman's canon, and artistically, I couldn't avoid portraying the traumatic relationship between Barbara Gordon and the Joker. I mean, that sums it all up right there. For me, it was just a creepy cover that brought up something from the character's past that I was able to interpret artistically. But it has become clear that for others, it touched a very important nerve. I respect these opinions, and despite whether the discussion is right or wrong, no opinion should be discredited. Well, no, your opinion is the one that matters. My intention was never to hurt or upset anyone through my art. For that reason, I have recommended to DC that the variant cover be pulled. I'm incredibly pleased that DC Comics is listening to my concerns and will not be publishing the cover art in June as previously announced. And that's basically it. And, the terrorists win again. That's what it comes down to. I believe that this guy worked really hard on this piece. I think it meant a lot to him, and I think it's really unfortunate that we can't be adults about this and let the guy do his thing. Like, don't buy it. Don't buy the cover. There's gonna be, every other cover is gonna be the standard cover. Just don't buy the cover. Like, it's all it comes down to. You don't have to. Can we all? I mean, should we shred all the Killing Joke books too? Like, it's a thing that happened, guys. I mean, I would love to know what the readers think, especially if you think that it's unacceptable to have that as a cover. Because I don't know how I could ever agree with anybody. It's gonna happen. There are going to be, polarizing storylines for these characters, male and female. And, I just feel like anytime something like this happens to a female character, everybody flips their shit. But if something like this were to happen to a male character, no one would care. And I get it. I totally do. But at the same time, this is fantasy. It's not, I mean, it's the same thing as movies. These things happen in movies, and we accept it. And comic books are an extension of that. It's a story being told. And sometimes to make a compelling story, things like this happen. There are going to be other times when, men are victimized by women. There's so many ways that we could look at this. Why can't we just look at it as exactly what it is? An amazing cover, a great homage to one of the iconic storylines of our time. But I really hope that supporting Mr. Albuquerque. I really support the fact that he feels the way he does. I just don't agree with these people. You're not going to win out with them all. You're not. Yes, there are going to be people that are upset. I'm clearly proof of that. If all the things that I've said about Marvel not bringing back Rich Rider have fallen on deaf ears. I've said some pretty vicious stuff You know, can you take over for the Nova storyline so I can say all these vicious things, and you can bring Rich Rider back? I mean, you know, we're not all gonna get what we want, and you know, you can't make everybody happy. This was an amazing cover. You should be thoroughly proud of it, and I wish I could go, you know, buy it when it was supposed to release in June. It would have been the first Batgirl comic book I ever purchased, and it would have been because of your cover. And it's unfortunate because, and it's not because I like seeing, you know, this you know, female being terrorized by this male. No, it's because the Joker is terrorizing Batgirl. Like, sexes don't matter. Joker could be the girl, and it could be, you know, Batman for all I care. You know, it's such a classic story, and it's just unfortunate that it had to go down this way. But anyway, I hope everybody enjoyed the video. I guess I got to answer this call or not. So, but yeah, there we go. Hope everybody enjoyed the video. I would love to know what you guys think, and we'll catch you later. See ya.